Hey, I'm Robert, and I've always been very good-looking. I'm not saying that to brag. It's just that every single girl in my high school wanted to date me. I was young, and of course, I chose the hottest girl. Her name was Rebecca, and all I had to do was say hi to her. She immediately responded, "Oh my God, hey Robert." And a few hours later, I made out with her. Afterward, we dated for 2 weeks. But I didn't actually like Rebecca. All she did was gossip and trash talk her own friends. At one point, I had enough and broke up with her. I could have found another gorgeous girl, but I liked Elsa the most. She was my chemistry partner, and I simply enjoyed talking and hanging out with her. Was she pretty? Well, most people would have said no, but I really didn't care. All I knew was that I wanted to spend more time with her. That's why I asked her out. I said, "Hey, do you want to go on a date with me this weekend?" She seemed very surprised and said, "You want to date me?" I nodded my head and said, "Of course." Our first date was great. We went on a Ferris wheel and held hands. It sounds stupid, but it felt right. But then the news spread at our school. A lot of people asked me, "Why are you dating Elsa? Do you really think she's pretty?" Of course, I hated those questions because they made it sound like I was somehow out of her league. But I never thought that way. I just knew that Elsa was the right girl for me, and for the first time in my life, I was in love. But then I introduced her to my dad and said, "Dad, this is Elsa. We have been dating for a few months now, and I wanted to introduce her to you." But instead of welcoming Elsa, my dad pointed at her and said, "I don't like you." We were both shocked. But Elsa was a brave girl and asked my dad, "Sir, can I ask why you don't like me?" And my dad responded, "I'm sure you are a nice girl, but my son is a 10 and you are a 4 at best." I saw that Elsa was holding back tears, and I got so angry that I screamed at my dad, "You monster!" Then I took Elsa to my room and tried to comfort her. I said, "My dad's opinion doesn't matter." But then she asked me, "Do you think I'm pretty?" And I responded, "I don't think it matters whether you are pretty or not." But Elsa couldn't handle my answer. She started crying and said, "So it's true what the other kids in our school say. They all think I don't deserve you." She was crying, but I responded, "Look, you are not the prettiest girl in the world. You either accept that or not. But I love you just the way you are, and there is nothing I enjoy more than spending time with you. Isn't that enough?" Finally, Elsa said, "Yes, I can live with that." I thought we had solved this problem. But the next day, my mean dad took my phone and wrote Elsa a message saying, "I'm sorry, you really, really aren't pretty enough for me. That's why I have to break up with you." When I had my phone back, I saw my dad's text and Elsa's reply. It was a single sad smiley. I immediately went over to her place and explained what my stupid dad had done. She said it was fine, but I could see in her eyes how much my dad had hurt her. Our next date wasn't good either. Whenever a good-looking girl was close to us, Elsa said, "If you want, you can talk to her." I always responded, "I don't want to talk to other girls." But Elsa's insecurities only grew worse, and I missed the careless and fun times we had before. I hoped she would become her old self again. But then my dad took it to the next level. He said to me, "Either you're going to break up with Elsa or I'm going to throw you out of my house when you turn 18. Well, my 18th birthday was only 1 month away, so those weren't good news. I asked him if there was some other way. I said, "What if I instead study even harder for school?" But my dad wasn't willing to make any compromises. You probably expect some kind of happy ending and that I married Elsa despite my dad. But that wasn't the case. I was only 18, and I really didn't want to be kicked out of my dad's home. Also, Elsa and I were just teenagers. What were the odds of us two staying together for the rest of our lives? They were pretty low. And that's why I told Elsa I wanted to break up with her. Of course, she said, "Oh, it's because I'm too ugly." And she was crying again. But this time, I was so annoyed of her that I only said, "No, it's because you are immature and insecure." Unfortunately, our breakup led to her having a small mental breakdown. She didn't come to school for 2 weeks, and then a month later, she sent me a picture with her and some random good-looking guy making out. It looked gross, and she wrote, "I just wanted to let you know." Wow, I really hope she will fix her problems, because right now she is behaving like a maniac.